Brothers, whether you want to call it global cooling or global warming or climate change, it is and has been a hoax. It has been a political way to obtain power, to get people to do things that they otherwise wouldn't do in the name of a cause greater than themselves. This is the religion of the left. Climate change is a hoax. We've known it for years. The people that still believe in it are fucking retarded. And now Bill Gates, of all people, has come out to basically confirm that. That the whole thing about the climate is going to be destroyed and humanity is going to collapse, all of it was a complete and total hoax. And Donald Trump just shred Bill Gates apart for it. And it's absolutely hilarious. So that's what we're going to get into. We're going to be watching Donald John Trump take a moment from, having these big negotiations with foreign leaders to shit on Bill Gates because Bill Gates admitted, yeah, guys, we basically made the whole thing up about, doom and gloom. Wow, in 10 years, the Earth's surface is going to be so hot thanks to global warming that you're not going to be able to even live on the coastal cities. It's going to be too hot. This fucking bullshit has been around for a long time. It is a mechanism of control. It is a way to try to get people to do something against their interest out of fear. And you see the carbon tax credits, you see all these other things that have nothing to do with climate. It's about government taking more money, government taking more power and more control, and these people on the left worship this like a fucking religion. So anyway, without further ado.
Wasted no time mocking Bill Gates after the billionaire admitted that climate change will not lead to humanity's demise in a memo released yesterday. He wrote, "Although climate change will have serious consequences, particularly for people in the poorest countries, it will not lead to humanity's demise. People will be able to live and thrive in most places on Earth for the foreseeable future." He then went on to highlight the biggest problem for humanity, saying, "Although climate change will hurt poor people more than anyone else, for the vast majority of them it will not be their only or even biggest threat to their lives and welfare. The biggest problems are poverty and disease, just as they always have been." Gates went on to explain his position on CNBC.
Climate is a super important problem. There's enough innovation here to avoid super bad outcomes. We won't achieve our best goal, the 1.5 or even the 2 degrees. And as we go about trying to minimize that, we have to frame it in terms of overall human welfare.
But Donald Trump was not having it. The President of the United States blasted the billionaire for his backflip on climate change via a Truth Social post that read, we just won the war on the climate change hoax. Bill Gates has finally admitted that he was completely wrong on the issue. It took courage to do so, and for that we are all grateful."
I can't even begin to tell you how much I love Donald Trump. I mean, for many, 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 many years, people have played into all of these different hoaxes. They've, affirmed this obvious bullshit that is easily debunkable and has been debunked. But people have just sort of affirmed that, no, climate change is real. Well, if you think that climate change isn't real, you're a science denier. And Donald Trump comes along and goes, yeah, you people are full of shit. I love Donald Trump. I think that he is probably one of the best presidents in my lifetime.
MAGA. A group who will not be happy with this news are the climate change activists. People like Greta Thunberg and her friends who have spent their lives campaigning for climate change awareness off the back of Bill Gates' alarmism. Gates became uncomfortable when quizzed about the potential pushback from activists.
When the climate activists who have been very supportive of what you've done and you've been very supportive of what they've done, read this, and if Greta Thunberg is reading this and saying to herself, my goodness, he seems like he is reversing himself, what would you tell her?
I'd say, wasn't the goal here to improve human lives.
Online commentators
No, the goal was never to improve human lives. These people are anti-human. This is an anti-human pedophile death cult. The left in America and in the West in general are not looking to improve human lives. They're looking to... That is such... I don't think that's naivete on Bill's part. I think he's saying that for a soundbite, but I think that he knows that the whole goal here was not that, oh, well, we're just looking out for the best of humanity. No, it was about control. It was about power. And at the end of the day, these are people like Bill Gates that think that there are too many humans already. There are too many humans. Even though there are not enough humans, you know, our numbers are dropping. You know, we take a look at the birth rates and it's absolutely abysmal. But no, people like Bill Gates and others, these people think, no, there are too many humans. In fact, a lot of these people, when you really get down into what they believe, they think that a couple billion humans need to die. No, I'm not joking. There's too many humans. We need to cut that down to like about 5 billion or less. Some of them believe that there needs to be less than that. So understand, this is, I think, Bill Gates just admitting the truth that this whole thing is a fucking facade. It's a scam. And it appears that they're moving on from it. They'll move to another scam. Don't worry. There'll be something else, you know. But I do think this whole thing was very, very interesting. That Bill Gates comes out and basically admits that the jig is up. That it's full of shit. The whole thing was full of shit. And yeah, all of these activists that put everything into it, because I thought this was going to be the keys to power and, you know, progressive politics for the future. Now they're looking at this going, oh, shit.
Meanwhile, Bill Gates has spent more than a decade warning.
Yeah, more than a decade doom and glooming about this issue, and now he's retracting. I guess Al Gore is the next one, right?
About the dangers of climate change.
You think that climate change could be a bigger disaster than COVID. Why is that?
Well, certainly climate change will make entire ecosystems die off. It'll make parts of the world.
Oh my God. Oh man, this is why when somebody says, yeah, I believe in climate change, you can do nothing but laugh at them. Like, it's so preposterous. It's so stupid. It's ridiculous. The predictive models that these people rely on are the most inaccurate of any models. It's like, you see that people, like, predicting the weather, and you notice how it's like, well, you know, sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. Well, imagine trying to predict that, like, 20 years in the future. It's all bullshit. It's all bunk. It's pseudoscience. Not even pseudoscience. It's just, I made it the fuck up. You will have a better predictive model with a woman telling you, well, my horoscope, it told me this, and I looked at the crystals, and the crystals told me that, like, I'm going to have, like, a great day today. And so, because the astrological sign has pointed this out, and the crystals have determined this, I think that my aura for the day is going to be pink and sparkling. Like, that is what I hear when I hear people talk about climate change. Now it's global cooling, now it's global warming, now it's climate change, because they realized, okay, well, the Earth didn't cool the way we wanted, it didn't warm the way we wanted, so now it's just climate change. It's going to change some way. How is it going to change? Well, if it changes in any way, then we're right, because we just named it climate change. Fuck these people.
You know, impossible to live in. And so the actual economic and death toll from climate change will be much, much, much greater than what we have with this pandemic.
These people are fucking liars. They have lied about every major substantial issue in my lifetime. They have made everything worse. Everything worse. This guy's predicting, guys, from climate change, entire in the next 10 years, entire ecosystems are going to be evaporated like Thanos snaps them out of existence. The death toll is going to be in the hundreds of millions, if not billions, if you don't, stop eating meat, if you don't buy the car that we tell you, if you don't do everything that we tell you to do that is against your own best interests, both personally and professionally, then you are dooming the planet and people are going to die. Don't you care? These people are sick.
But he's changing his tune now. He's actually rejecting the doomsday narrative in a new memo saying, quote, although climate change will have serious consequences, particularly for people in the poorest countries, it will not lead to humanity's demise. People will be able to live and thrive in most places on Earth for the foreseeable future.
So let's bring in the host of
Our climate change
News
expert.
Saturday night, our climate change
How about it?
expert,
Yeah.
comedian Jimmy Fallon.
Things people don't know. I graduated climate school, and of course, Bill Gates graduated the Gavin Newsom School of Communication. What was going on there?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's like climate change is going to kill us. Vertigo is. Just keep looking at my hands. It was bad. What an about-face. And it really gives up the whole entire grift that we always knew it was.
It angers me.
It drives me crazy because you know this. The movement has not only just changed again, but it changed in name 3 times before we got here. We were going to freeze to death in the 70s. Can you give me some money? We were going to melt in the 80s. Can you give me a couple of bucks? Then they were like, all right, we're not freezing, we're not melting, but the weather changes every day. How about a couple of bucks?
Right.
When no one gave in anymore, they were like, we're all going to die. And if you don't believe us, here's a 12-year-old Greta Thunberg to guilt you into giving us money. Right. Even she moved on. When the kid that was brought out to guilt us left town, I knew the jig was up, and here we are.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Remember this, when we were told the world was going to end.
This is the...
They brought out your boy Al Gore. I remember, so many years ago, 2009, I remember when Al Gore was saying, guys, we have like 12 years before Armageddon. It's going to be the apocalypse. The Earth's surface is going to be so hot, it's going to be like liquid magma if you don't give us money and do exactly what we want.
One challenge that could completely end human civilization.
The world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address...
End human civilization. AOC, the Earth is going to end in 10 years. Or 12 years, she said. 12 years. You've got 12 years to stop the spread. Bull fucking shit. And you know what these people are going to do? They're going to cope with this and say, well, of course it's not going to be as bad because we stopped it. We stopped it. All of the innovation that we came up with helped to stop. These people are going to take credit for ending this element of climate change, but they're going to say, but we have to do more. It may not be doom and gloom, but it's going to impact the poorest people. They're already running with the cope. That it's not going to be the doom narrative anymore, but it is still going to be a virtue signal. Just not the, end humanity campaign. I mean, these people are so fucking pathetic.
Address climate change.
If we don't get our act together, the world that you will be bringing your children up in and your grandchildren up in will be increasingly unhealthy and uninhabitable.
If we don't, it will be a death sentence to countless of people.
Or it won't be. One or the other. Either they're 100% wrong. I'd say they're wrong.
And the one thing all of those people have in common is at the end of that speech, when they passed around the collection plate, they then got into a private jet.
Exactly.
And flew, except for Greta. She sailed to Gaza and moved on to the next protest. Give Greta credit. She at least traveled by boat once in a while.
Right.
And by the way, Al Gore made a lot of money off that Earth in the Balance
Big
book,
money. And go ahead. I'm sorry. I was going to say, and his Tennessee mansion had an electric bill that made the Las Vegas Strip look Amish.
Right,
okay.
true.
They were all frauds, all of them.
Right. I just love the way you cut off Griff and then just
I didn't
plowed through
mean
it
to.
anyway.
No, Griff got me worked up during the break.
We've got to get your take on the monkeys on the loose in Mississippi. Okay. Now, first we were told they had Hep C, herpes, and COVID, and some of them were shot. Now Tulane says, no, they didn't have those diseases, but there's still like 3 on the loose.
We still shot them?
Yeah, no.
We shot like 5 of them.
They're on the loose, but don't be worried. It's Seattle, so they're already...
All right, so, yeah, apparently they're done talking about this. They just don't know how to transition from one topic to the next. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much clear in real time that the climate change hoax is done, at least in its current form. Oh, they'll come up with some other iteration. They'll still virtue signal off of it. I'm sure there'll be some people that still go with the doom and gloom thing, but I think that when Bill Gates gets off board, I think a lot of people, in order to get his money, are going to go along with him. It's so pathetic that these people aren't tried and held accountable for fraud. Like, the shit that they've said over years, that has affected people's lives, that has changed legislation, made things worse, and they just get to get away with it. Yeah, I think that this is absolutely ridiculous. And I think that we can now take a look at this and realize, well, if they were lying about this thing, what else were they lying about? Anyway, brothers, thanks for watching. See you next time.